Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Lim-Nakran. Just want to share with you some of the top stories that we're following. And I want to begin with the weather impacts across Georgia, really, of those severe storms that we saw last night. Right now, as you can see, one of our top stories on AtlantaNewsFirst.com, 2 schools in Coweta County are closed due to no power. Again, just want to encourage you to always check out AtlantaNewsFirst.com for your latest headlines, but also download our free Atlanta News First mobile news app because you can get updates like this sent straight to your phone. So the situation here is that classes at these 2 schools have been canceled for the day. This is because of power outages, because of the severe weather that passed through the area last night. The schools that are affected here are Willis Road Elementary and Lee Middle School. They made the announcement actually just this morning via Facebook, and that's why it's so important to get these mobile apps downloaded to your phone, our mobile app downloaded to your phone, because, you know, maybe you weren't on Facebook, right? Or maybe you missed a phone call. So that way you'll get that alert if something like this does impact you. Classes are going to resume tomorrow as planned, tomorrow, August 9th. That is the plan for now, but obviously that could change. Things are tentative, so we do encourage you to stay with Atlanta News First, Atlanta News First Plus for your latest updates on that. But we also want to tell you about how these storms have been impacting so many other parts of Georgia, bringing down trees, power lines, blocking streets as well. My colleague Madeline Montgomery is actually in DeKalb County to show us some of the damage.
Now that the sun is up, you can really see the extent of this damage. Just look at how this tree was completely pulled from the roots here. This giant ancient oak tree falling on top of Virginia White's home. She called us last night about this. You can see collapsing into the front of this home, breaking into the brick here, and you can see the roof coming down into the front yard, some of the siding of this house coming down, and we can see this tree hit the fence. We are glad to tell you that the folks that live inside of this home are okay. They ended up calling us to tell us about this damage, and we're in the Gresham Park neighborhood, and when we pulled up here around 4 o'clock this morning, it was pitch black out here. According to Georgia Power, around 3,000 people without power in this area, and it's because of situations like this. We're seeing trees down throughout this area from that huge storm we saw last night, knocking down power lines, knocking out power, and the power just got back over here, but that might not be the case everywhere, and because of these outages, it's been pretty dark. Now that the sun is out, it's a little better on the roads, but you're still seeing a lot of debris on the roadways, so just make sure you watch where you're going this morning. For now, in DeKalb County, I'm Madeline Montgomery, Atlanta News First.
All right, thanks so much to Madeline for that report. I also want to take you back to our website for a moment because another one of the top stories that we are following is the massive flight cancellations and delays really around the nation, and of course here in Atlanta being a Delta hub, major impact here. These flight delays and cancellations are continuing at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport after those severe storms rolled through not just our state, but really the eastern United States yesterday. Over 900 cancellations and delays were reported yesterday at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport after those powerful storms actually started to roll through on Sunday. And then the severe weather continued Monday across the eastern United States, as we've been reporting to you. At least 2 people died in South Carolina and Alabama. Thousands of flights around the U.S. were canceled or delayed. More than 1.1 million homes and businesses lost power nationwide. The number of cancellations and delays, or I should say a number of cancellations and delays, do continue at the Atlanta airport heading into the day today. As of 9 a.m., there were 77 flights canceled, another 137 delayed. 61 of those flights were actually Delta flights that were impacted of those cancellations. Let's listen to one traveler.
We were watching Toy Story, but we're also waiting for all of the flight cancellations from our airline.
We're doing our best to have fun and make the best out of it. We try to be a fun family, so we're just going to make the best of it, try not to complain too much, and that's all we can do. These guys are doing so amazing. I am so proud of my family right now.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of frustration for travelers there. Okay, I want to also let you know about this story, which we are following right now, a hearing for the city of South Fulton's mayor, Khalid Kamau, is planned for today. We have actually learned that it's should be underway as I speak, began at 10 a.m. So we have been able to confirm that the hearing is not in relation to the recent trespassing arrest that we reported to you, but we do have a crew present at this hearing. We're going to let you know what comes of it. But again, this is a hearing for the former for the South Fulton mayor, not former mayor, but he is a South Fulton mayor. I have had the wrong graphic up, got me a little tongue-tied there. Apologize for that. But I also do want to let you know about this other major story that we are following as well. Right now, we are in the window where the former president, Donald Trump, could actually be indicted here in Georgia. There are barricades set up near the Fulton County Courthouse, blocking major roads through next week. This is a map kind of showing you the areas impacted. The indictment, of course, surrounds the investigation into the 2020 election and whether Trump and any of his allies actually tried to overturn the results in any way. And this is something that, of course, we've been following extensively here on Atlanta News First and Atlanta News First Plus. And the newest developments here, Georgia's former lieutenant governor has now been subpoenaed to appear before a Fulton County grand jury examining this alleged election interference. Jeff Duncan is now the third publicly known witness to receive a subpoena to testify before this grand jury. Duncan says he'll be present at the hearing and that he remains an open book. Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis says she's planning to announce any indictments from her office before September 1st, and we are staying on top of this. We're following it very, very closely. We're going to let you know as soon as any potential indictment does come down. And if you have our Atlanta News First app, if you don't have it, you should get it. But if you do have it, you're going to get an update sent right to your phone, and you'll know just as soon as any news breaks, as soon as an indictment comes down, you know, and clearly because of just kind of the measures being taken across the city, there is some anticipation of potentially a strong reaction, and that's something else that we're going to cover. And I do want to encourage everybody, check out our Trump tab. We actually have a whole tab dedicated to the Trump investigations, plural, on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. You know, because there are now, if this other indictment comes down, it will be the fourth against the former president. So, you know, there are already the federal indictments that came down related to January 6th. That happened, you know, just recently, and then before that there was the indictment in New York, and there was the indictment out of Florida as well, and the alleged mishandling of classified documents. So there's a lot going on, and we do have an expert legal analyst joining us later this afternoon at 1 p.m. to discuss the very latest, at least regarding Fulton County and really beyond that. Okay, for right now, I want to turn now to a look at the forecast because the weather has been top of mind for so many people across the state of Georgia. I want to bring in meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi following the latest.
Yeah, thanks so much, Joy. Good morning, everyone. So hopefully if you are now in the cleanup process after yesterday's storms, it's not going too terribly for you, not giving you too many headaches. We've been tracking power outages throughout the morning, and there are still some effective. Just a friendly reminder to give all of our lovely people at Georgia Power and all of our energy companies across the state a little bit of grace today. They are going to be working very, very hard to get your power back on. I know personally, when my air conditioning went out just a couple of weeks ago, I was definitely not as prone to be quite as bubbly and positive and sweet, because that can be a really frustrating and uncomfortable thing. But give them grace. They have a lot of work to do after yesterday's storms, and thankfully today they shouldn't have any issues when it comes to trying to get your power back on. I will say it's going to be a little breezy today, so I'm not sure how that impacts them going up in the higher bucket trucks, but overall the rain chance should stay fairly slim today. We're going to talk about that, but really a 180 from the forecast yesterday. So here's a look at today's forecast. We are going to top out in the upper 80s. A lot of us will actually top out in the mid 80s this afternoon. So a lot cooler than we've been the past couple of days. And it's also going to be breezy. So what you're looking at on those bars there are the wind gust values through the day today. We'll have wind gusts potentially upwards of 25 miles per hour. So that'll actually make the day, I think, feel a lot nicer. It'll kind of cut some of that heat for you. The humidity won't be quite as harsh today. It's still going to be muggy. It won't be necessarily fall-like, but our humidity definitely going to be slightly lower today with that breeze. Overall, just a nice day. 30% coverage of rain. That's mainly going to be south of I-20 today. And that's where we're going to look for maybe a severe storm. We could have some gusty wind, heavy rain, frequent lightning in counties like Troup, Meriwether, Pike, Lamar, Butts County, Jasper County. We'll be looking down to, again, our friends to the south, so places like LaGrange. You'll be in the bullseye for maybe a few storms today. And again, one or two could be strong to severe, but again, nothing to the caliber that we experienced yesterday. So let's take you through that. Tuesday, the second day back to school for Fulton and DeKalb County schools, and a lot of students kind of making their way through their second week. Thankfully, the bus stop will not be quite as chaotic today. We'll see partly to mostly cloudy skies, already starting to see some of those clouds build out there. In fact, I'll give you a view outside just in case you haven't peeked out your window yet. In the last couple of hours, we've definitely had some changes. So starting to see some more clouds build this afternoon, and that will continue. We'll end up with partly to mostly cloudy skies through the day today. 3 o'clock, some of the students headed home from school. The only people that we might see be impacted when it comes to that commute home from school or after school activities, again, places mainly south of I-20, so from Carroll County down to LaGrange, so down in Troup County. We'll watch you for maybe an isolated afternoon and evening storm. Very quick passing, so shouldn't cause too many issues. Just a little hiccup in the day when it comes to the forecast. Tomorrow morning, we'll wake up back in the mid to upper 60s. It'll be a really comfortable start to your day. And then we will have the chance for a few storms tomorrow afternoon and evening. They'll move in generally from the north. Could have a few just heat of the day storms, but we'll be watching another wave of storms to move in the evening tomorrow. So something we'll be keeping an eye on, but most of the day will shape up fine for your Wednesday, and it will be hot. So today, breezy and warm with a few storms south. Thursday, though, is our next first alert. So we'll have more widespread storms. Rounds of rain and storms will be likely as of right now, potentially starting in the morning and kind of continuing into the early afternoon. So that could definitely impact your morning commute on Thursday. The weekend, thankfully, because it's never too early to start thinking about the weekend. The weekend looks hot and humid, just a few storms, definitely trending drier for the weekend, though. So that is good news for anybody who has any weekend plans starting to think about the weekend. Thursday is going to be really our focus day. Rounds of storms. Some severe will also be possible on Thursday. So I know we're just kind of getting cleaned up here after the storms yesterday. We'll have a day or two break, and then that's going to all the storm activity is going to start to ramp back up again, unfortunately. So a bit of a stormy pattern we're in here in the southeast. Let's take a look into Wednesday first. So again, see that cluster of storms that's out towards Arkansas and parts of Illinois, Omaha, Nebraska, up into the Nebraska region. That will start to push off to the southeast throughout the evening. So again, Wednesday, while we could have some of those heat of the day, we call them diurnal showers and thunderstorms, we'll watch for a potential wave of storms to move in from the north, kind of get streamlined into our area Wednesday night. Could carry some heavy rain and gusty wind. Now here is our first alert. Potentially could have rain and storms move in as early as 2:30 in the morning. All of this activity is kind of out ahead of a cold front that we'll be watching. Either way, at this point in the day, 2:30, our fuel for storms not necessarily the highest, but still could have some stronger storms at this point. Now, I want to make kind of a side note here, is that this timing is going to change. This is Thursday, so we still have a couple of days for models to make up their mind on timing. So we're going to give kind of a generic, the morning seems to be the most active right now, but don't think that this is necessarily going to stick. 2:30 in the morning could very well change as the days progress and models get a handle on what's happening. But just know what we're going to be watching for, at least the trend on Thursday, are rounds of showers and storms. At this point, could definitely impact your morning commute to work and school on Thursday. And notice this particular model clears everything out by the afternoon. So for the afternoon commute, you look good to go. But models already hinting at the chance for severe weather on Thursday. So again, that's why we have that first alert. When you see those kind of bowing lines of storms that move in, like you saw in this model, that usually is a good indicator of damaging straight line winds. So again, something we'll be watching for, but the timing is more than likely going to shift several hours. So right now we'll focus on the morning on Thursday, but that could change. So just be sure you're staying tuned to the forecast as we go through the week. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast, because again, today will be great. Maybe a few showers and thunderstorms south of I-20, very quick passing for the afternoon and evening. Maybe a few storms tomorrow night that'll kind of eject in from the northwest and push off to the southeast later in the evening. Maybe a few heat of the day thunderstorms, low 90s, upper 80s on Thursday. Could even end up being cooler than that if the rain does move in super early and lingers into the early afternoon. But right now we do have a first alert for Thursday because of storms. Already some indication that storms could be severe on Thursday. All the area right now is pretty much in a level 1 risk, which is a marginal risk, but that could very well be upgraded over the next couple days, something we'll be watching for you. Drier for Friday, about a 40% coverage of rain. And then as we head into the weekend, 20% chance for rain Sunday, 30% chance for rain on Saturday. So really just summer-like through the weekend, hot and humid, those pop-up afternoon thunderstorms. You're already thinking about the weekend, trying to make some plans. Go ahead and do it. Don't think the weather's really going to impact you. A lot of the rain and storm activity will stay closer to the Gulf Coast and the Atlantic coast, and then spotty showers will continue into the start of next week. So again, big focus day for us will be Thursday. So hopefully if you're cleaning up after all the storms yesterday, you can get that wrapped up today or tomorrow, and then kind of just brace yourself for another rainy and stormy day on Thursday. What a pattern we've been in, right? It's been a little bit of a roller coaster, a little bit hectic, but we'll get you through it. All right, everyone, I hope you make it a wonderful day. Thanks so much for spending some time with us, and we'll catch you here next time.